Oh goodness, that was almost scary, you guys. I just went to start it and I got a little message that said unable to create stream, which when you have a live scheduled, that's not something that you want to see, but we're good because I think we're all here. Yay! Okay, you guys, so well, as usual, right? It seems like every Saturday there's tons going on. So, welcome. Welcome to the 15th free Traveler's Notebook class that we have been doing every Saturday since March 21st. So guys, these have been going on, this is week 15. And this week I'm doing a little something different. Actually, let me back up. If you are new to my weekly videos, or if you're new to my channel, my name is Lael Kankar, and I have an online business, online website. It's called Lael by Mail, where I have all kinds of project kits, traveler's notebook kits, accessories, and all different kinds of things. For the last 15 weeks, we have been doing, I and you have been doing a free traveler's notebook class every Saturday morning. So normally what I do, I'm kind of switching things up a little bit this week. So I have 3 new traveler's notebook kits available right now. One is the Midsummer kit, one is the travel themed traveler's notebook kit, and one is a floral themed traveler's notebook kit. And normally when you purchase a kit, you receive a link to a Plan With Me video. And those videos are exclusive to the people that purchase the kit. What I thought would be kind of fun to do this time would be to basically offer that video to everyone. So that is what we're doing. In today's class, I will be setting up my traveler's notebook using that floral traveler's notebook kit. So we'll kind of take a look at how I would normally do that, and then how I would add things after the kit. Those of you that purchased the kit and are here, welcome to you too. This is very different than we would normally do it, as I just explained. So before we get started, you guys, I am alone today. So I have no Sam with me. I have no Nick, my husband, with me, and my dad is not here either. They are moving my dad in this morning to his new place. So he's been with us for 2 weeks since we moved him from California. And bless Sam, he gathered a whole bunch of friends to come help and unload the U-Haul and all that. So they left about 7:30 this morning, and as soon as I'm done with class, then I will head over and start the process of unpacking him, which will be good. I think he's excited. Lots of changes for him going on. So it's just me today. Even the cat, Poe. A lot of you know the cat, Poe. The cat, Poe, is in the garage. I put him in there so he didn't bug me. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to flip the camera. And when I flip the camera, you know the drill. It gets a little shaky, and I'm going to turn on the lights at the same time. And I will keep talking as we are working. Let me first come in. Oh, I hate this part because you get to see my lovely arm. But oh well, it is what it is. Here we go. Flip and rotate. I'm also going to bring this up. I need to bring this up on my iPad so I can see what we're all seeing. It makes it much easier. So bear with me for a sec as I move my little arm, finger, whatever in the way. There we go. All right. So if you are following along, for those of you that are watching live, a couple of things. Over on the right-hand side of your screen, you have a chat area. So lots of you chat. I love that. I love to see all the Karens, and that's really funny. All the Karens, but really all the real Karens. Except my mom won't be here today because she is also helping move. And then my friend Karen is camping today, but I'm sure we'll have some of the other Karens. From Greece, oh my gosh, Elena, I'm going to try to pronounce that. You are on my bucket list. And Sissy too. Oh my gosh, you guys, you are totally on my bucket list. One of these days, I'm going to make it to your amazing country. Okay, and we have Ontario, and I have been to Ontario, Topanga. So Sarah, I'm not sure where Topanga is. Connecticut, I know where that is. Ontario, another Ontario, there's a Karen. All right, Northern California, Jeanette, I know where you are. Another California. So I love it, you guys, that we have so many people from all over the world. That is such a cool thing, I think. Those of you that have the kit, you have the kit in front of you. Those of you that don't have the kit, that is a-okay, because in the description of the video, I've included a list of products that you might want to have with you if you want to work along and set up your video. So isn't that interesting? So 2 of you are here from Greece, and well, okay, I do realize that Greece is a larger country. Well, it's not just like a little tiny city. And 2 of you are here from Greece and you don't know each other. That's cool. I just would have thought you guys were friends watching together. So that's awesome. Anyhow, if you are setting up your traveler's notebook with me and you're not using the kit, in the description of the video, I have included a list of supplies that you may want to have with you. So you'll need a traveler's notebook. I am using the gingham teal, and everything that you are seeing that I am using, I have available on my website, and I've linked to it in the description of the video. So I'm using the gingham teal. I have 2 different inserts that I'm using. So I'm using a lined insert and a dot grid insert. So setting the traveler's notebook aside, now everything that we're seeing is part of that kit. So we have the 2 inserts. We have the collection pack from the One Fine Day collection. So that includes 6 different papers and a 6x12 sticker sheet. You guys, I picked this collection, for a lot of things, but this paper I love. I love the navy. You guys know I love navy. I love navy and pink together. My website is kind of navy and a little bit of pink. And then this fun kind of chartreusey, yellowy green. It's such a happy collection. So then also we are using some washi. And this is the One Fine Day washi. So I suggested that you have 2 inserts with you, your traveler's notebook. I think I add 3 12x12 pieces of pattern paper, some coordinating washi, and that's probably what we need to get started. So normally when I start out by setting up my traveler's notebook, I normally start out by decorating the pockets. There's Noemi from Baldwin Park. Noemi, one of these days I'm going to Google Baldwin Park so I know exactly where it is. Normally I start by decorating the pockets, but I am not going to do that this time. I'm going to start out by decorating my inserts, and then I'm going to do the pockets, and this will make sense very shortly. So I'm going to set that little guy off to the side, and I have both of my inserts. The 2 papers that I'm going to use to slip cover my inserts, I am using this navy because you know how much I love that. And then I am also using this floral. All right, so I am going to move kind of everything out of the way and bring in my trimmer. So this whole concept of slip covering, and I've talked about this a couple of different times before. With the slip covering, I should probably have this out so you can see the mistake I made a couple of years ago. Not sure where it is. So it was December, and I was going to decorate my traveler's notebook cover, my traveler's notebook insert for the month of December. And I pulled out some really fun Christmas paper and some Santas and whatever, and I glued everything to the cover of my insert, which was awesome because as I worked on that insert in my traveler's notebook through the month of December, it was perfect. It was holiday. It was great. Now, when January rolled around, I all of a sudden realized I had caused myself a problem because I was still working on my insert. Generally, I don't fill up 1 insert a month, so it moves from month to month to month. But the problem is I had glued everything to the cover of my insert. So even though I didn't want it to be still Christmas in January, it was still Christmas. So that's when I came up with the idea of slip covering. And basically what slip covering does is it lets me temporarily adhere a slip cover to my insert. So if that was Christmas, this would be Christmas. It was temporary. When I was done with December, I would just peel off my slip cover and then decorate for January. So that is how we're going to start out. We're going to create 2 different slip covers using 2 different 12x12 pieces of pattern paper. Now the inserts that I use and the inserts that were part of this kit are standard wide. So standard well, standard wide 8.25 by 5 inches. So I'm always using 12 by 12 papers to create my slip covers. If you are working with an insert that is different than that, then you would size your paper accordingly. So as I'm talking about slip covers, just know that I am working with a standard wide that is 8.25 by 5. So 8.25, I want my slip cover to be the height of my insert. So that would be 8.25. So I'm just gonna come in and cut that part off. Then I want, well, my second one. I'm doing 2 inserts, 2 slip covers. So I also want this one to be 8.25. All right, so I'm gonna get my trimmer now out of the way. Starting with my first paper here. I want to fold it in half because this is 5 inches wide. When I open it up, it is 10. So I want to fold this in half at 5. I typically, when I'm folding in half, I will fold with the outside in. So right now I'm going to fold with the outside in, or I could get, did I have my little score thing out? I did, but I don't know where it is. All right, so I'm folding with the outside in. The reason I generally will fold with the outside in is because if there's going to be any breakage in the fibers of the papers, it's generally going to happen on that outside fold. So when I fold with the outside in, now my fold is on the inside. So if there's any breakage of the fibers, so I'm going to see the white core of the paper, then it's going to happen on the inside instead of the outside. So I folded that in half and I bring my insert in. Where's my half? Oh, it doesn't matter. All right, so then I kind of set that up right there at the center. Because my paper is 12 inches wide and my insert is 5 inches wide, when I open that up, my open insert now becomes 10 inches wide, which means I have 1 inch left over on either side. And that is the important part because that is how we are going to get that to slipcover. When I was doing this whole, kind of came up with the concept of a slipcover, it just kind of popped into my head one day, and it reminded me of when I was a little kid, little girl in elementary school, and you would go to school on the first day, and your teachers would hand you your textbooks, and then they would tell you to take them home and slipcover them, right? And we would generally slipcover them with a brown paper sack from the grocery store. That was long before they ever had the plastic sacks. And I don't think you could really slipcover your book with a plastic sack, although I guess if you had to, you could. But we would have fun. We would cover our textbooks with a brown paper sack, and then we would decorate. But the beauty of that was that anytime during the year, if that cover got torn or ripped or something, that we could just take it off and put a brand new one on and then redecorate. And that's exactly what we're doing. Okay, so I have folded that over. Generally, I will then take a little bit of washi. So this was the washi that is also included in that kit that I'm working with. I take a little strip of washi, maybe 3 inches. I don't need a lot, but I'm just going to do that. And that is going to temporarily hold my slipcover on until the end of the month when I am ready to slipcover with something else. Now I'm going to close this like so. And I am going to fold this opposite, I guess the back cover, inside or inwards. And the reason I am doing that, as opposed to having this open like this, and at this time just coming around the edge, I don't want to do that because if I do that, once I close, I need a little bit of extra room to come around that bend, to come around the spine. So I probably need, I don't know, maybe an extra 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch. So that is why I closed and then folded it over to make sure I had that extra room. So now we can go ahead and open it up, and I will add another little zip of washi right there. Okay. Oh, I put away one of my tools. Sometimes I don't want to put things away, right? So hang tight. I'm grabbing a corner rounder. We've talked about corner rounders before. I have a couple of smaller ones like this, and then I have this guy, and I mostly use this guy. This is the We Are Memory Keepers Corner Chomper. So this cuts through just a ton of layers, and that is what I like, is I like to cut through. In this case, I'm cutting through really 2 layers because I have the front and the back. When I slip cover, I'm left with a right angle right here, right? And I like, since my inserts have rounded corners, I like my slip covers to also have the rounded corners. And you know what, Teresa, if you have trouble with that folding around, I don't know if you do it the way that I just did it, or if you are doing it a different way. So if you don't do it the way that I just did it, do it the way that, well, you know what I'm saying, right? Susie, great question. Is it a 5mm corner rounder? So this is something that's interesting. I use the inserts from Carpe Diem, and we discovered this the other day. Let me just pull out an insert right here. So this is an insert that's a Carpe Diem insert, and it has a much more of a rounded corner, more like a 1/2 inch. Then these little guys do. These are more of a 1/4 inch. So see how that's 1/4 inch? I already rounded this one. That's why that's way. But that is why that is that way. There we go. So on these that are included in the kit, I'm going to use a 1/4 inch round instead of a 1/2. So really it just depends on your insert and kind of the shape of your curve, I guess. So there we go, like that. And I'll do the same right here. Turn it over and do the same thing. If you have a smaller corner rounder, smaller, I shouldn't say smaller. What I mean is if you have a corner rounder that is not a big chomper like this, just maybe play around with a little bit before and get familiar with maybe how many layers that it will punch together or round together. All right, so there's my first one. Oh, I just realized what I forgot to grab. I forgot to grab my water. Oh, and my coffee cup's empty. So, well, we'll wing it. And now no one's home for me to say, hey, could you please get me some water? All right, so there's our first insert slip covered. Now we're going to come in and slip cover the second one. So we're also using this paper, and I'm going to fold again with the outside in. Sometimes when I'm setting up my traveler's notebook, depending on what I'm using, a lot of times, like in this case, the collection, it's all part of the same collection, so it makes a lot of the thinking already done for me. I don't have to try to mix and match different patterns and different colors from different companies. But sometimes I like to do that. It just depends on what I'm doing. So we're coming in here again on the center, open that, and fold over. I love the inside pattern of this too. The inside pattern kind of reminds me of like an old Formica table that you might see from a diner in like the 1950s. Okay, so there we have that, and we'll pull out another washi. Again, don't need a lot, just enough to tack it down until I'm ready to take it off. Fold that under. I've been doing, it's interesting, I have been doing, my gosh, a lot of live videos this week. Hi, Yvonne. A lot of live videos this week. I have 4 different scrapbook kits, mini book kits that I had released maybe about a month ago, and I've been teaching the private classes for those. And I'm so used to our Saturday mornings. Well, those I did on, I think 4 different nights this week. And it is amazing. I have the exact same setup every time. I have the studio lights every time that are really, really warm. Well, on Saturday mornings, they're not bad because it's still pretty cool out. Let me tell you, at night, oh goodness, it is like a sauna in here. So I'm glad that this case it's the morning and you don't have to see me sweat, even though I have my secret deodorant on. Okay, so both of my slip covers are now, well, both of my inserts are now slip covered. So the next thing I do, once I have those guys slip covered, I outline them. And let me show you what I mean by outline, and we'll be able to see it a little bit more with this guide. Oopsie, a little bit more with this guide as I set these two next to each other. So the one on top has not been outlined, and the one underneath has been outlined. And I just take a fine tip Sharpie pen, and I just get those from Amazon. I've linked those in the description of the video. But it just, to me, it just really kind of finishes things off. So that's what I do next. I take my little Sharpie and it's always freehand because it's really hard to take a ruler around a corner. But as I'm doing that, you notice that my hand, pretty much my arm stays in place. My hand just moves a tiny bit and then I rotate whatever it is I'm outlining. Far easier than trying to do that. There's the first one. And we'll do the same thing with the second one. This is kind of my version of inking. I know a lot of people like to ink edges, but I like to outline. And here's the thing. Sometimes it's a little wonky. So look what happened right there. So Teresa, you know what? Keep trying. And you know what? Don't get too stressed over that, because if you need to open it up and refold it again, it'll be fine. So see up here, it's not really straight, but that's okay. They rarely are, and that's just kind of part of the look. All right, so we have our two inserts. Now we need to start decorating them. So in most cases, when I do my traveler's notebook kits, I'm always including a piece of paper that has like little 3x4 cards on it or little tags on it, something that we can cut up to decorate the pockets. But in this case, this collection kit did not have anything like that. So this is where what we'll do, and I'll show you what we're going to do, is we're basically going to cut up paper to start decorating our little pockets. I don't know where that is. Maybe that went right there. I don't know. Okay, so what we need to do, we have these two pieces. So we're going to start out by cutting those. Bring the trimmer back in. Deborah, how, after you've been with me so long, Debbie, have you never outlined? I'm shocked. Yes, go grab your Sharpie. Hi, Diane. No worries. No worries if you're late. You guys know, I think, that once the live is over, you can come back and watch the replay at any time. So I'm just cutting these little guys. And this one, I need to cut first to 8 inches because we're going to do something with it. So I'll actually show you what we're doing so that if you were following along and decorating your traveler's notebook, but you're not using the kit, you can kind of see what we're doing here. Included in the kit is some pom-pom trim. And every once in a while, I like to include little pom-pom trim like that in the kit because it's really fun to do what I did right here. Basically, we're using some liquid adhesive. We're adhering it to that piece. And then it tucks right into the pocket. So you just get this really great 3-dimensional accent or trim. Here's a trick. Well, I typically have to create these every time when they're included in a kit because I need to do them with the kit. But these I will save. So the next time I'm doing one of my own traveler's notebooks and I want a cute little white pom-pom to go in the pocket, it doesn't matter what this color is or what the pattern is because it tucks right in the pocket and you never see it. So before I start using any of this piece to decorate my pockets, I need to get that. So that is going to be 8 inches. I want to trim that to 8 inches and then that will fit in my little inside pocket. So we're going to save that. This guy, I want to cut what I have left over after I just cut this 8-inch piece. This guy, I'm going to cut to 3 inches. So I want that to pretty much be like a 3x4 card. So that's a 3x4 card. You don't want to change it, Teresa. Then you know what? Don't change it. So this guy, 3x4, and generally that's what I was saying. I'm normally tucking 3x4 cards into my pockets, and that's just kind of a good size to work with. So that is what we have left, and we'll set him off to the side. The next thing that we are going to do, I'm going to trim a little 3x4 piece, or at least a 3-inch piece, from this piece that we have left over from our slip cover as well. So there is that. Oh, actually, I need 2 of those because that is double-sided. So I want to use a little bit of this pattern in my pocket. And I also want to use a little bit of this kind of Aztec-y pattern in my pocket. So we're going to take another 3-inch of that. So far I have 3 different, like 3x4 cards that I am working with to load up my pockets. So if I am doing this on my own without the kit, then I'm just looking for really any 3x4 cards or any 3x4 papers. And then we'll kind of continue to work with those. All right, then the next thing I need is this one. Talk about like another, you guys, all the products in this kit are just like so bright and cheery and just fun. So I need I just need a 3x4 of this. So we'll cut this at 3. Well, I've got things in the way. It's a little bit easier if I don't have things in the way. So this one is a 3x4. Off to the side. Then I need another 3x4 of that. So if you're doing the same kit that I am, we need another 3x4. So we have the stripe that we're using, and then we also have the floral that we're using, and I need another 3x4. So there we go. So basically, after all is said and done, I need 1, 2, 3, 4 3x4s from that paper. And that's just because I want 2 that have that pattern and then 2 that have that pattern. Okay, then we need, and you're starting to see a pattern here, 3x4, 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 lots of 3x4s. So with this one, I need 2 3x4s. Get that out of the way. And I know every time a new one comes up, I'm like, oh, I love this. This one I love too. It's just kind of a really cool, like retro pattern. So I need 2 of those. I need one for that kind of reminds me of like snow in the wintertime. Kind of like that snowflake paper. And then that guy. Hi, Jody. No worries about being late. Virginia Beach. Ooh, I bet that's a neat place to be right now too. All right. So then I need, let's see what other paper that we have in here. I need 2 3x4s of this guy. Okay, 2 3x4s, so I have 1 of each of those. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's make sure I have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, there. Are we good? We have 9 different 3x4s. So as you are working with the kit, and at any time, if you need to replay, you can always replay or rewind, and so you know how many of those you're cutting. If you are not working with the kit, then you want 9 different 3x4 patterns. Okay, so there are 9, and we're gonna get our trimmer out of the way. All right, so let's start decorating our pockets. This is the fun part. Well, it's all fun, right? But okay, so taking out the reason I decided to use this teal gingham is that it honestly looks like it was made for this collection, right? The teal colors just blend in so well. So that was a no-brainer when I sat down to decide what traveler's notebook I wanted to use. As I start stuffing the pockets, again, I outline first. So, get that out of there. I'm just going to show you again. So here is that floral card outlined, and here it is not outlined. And again, it just makes things really pop, especially when we put them in our pockets. Things just kind of pop a little bit more. All right, so I come in and outline, and I do it pretty quick. I don't outline the bottom because I know I'm not going to see the bottom. Now, depending on what traveler's notebook that you're using, you may or may not have pockets along the left-hand side. So all of the traveler's notebooks that I use have pockets around the left-hand side. And I like that because then I can put my cards in the pockets, right? Tuck them in the pockets. So that little guy is going to go right there. I'm then going to grab this card and do the exact same thing, outline. And that is going to go forward. Then with this piece, the floral piece, I am not going to keep that as a 3x4 card. Lisa, you're good, hun. You can always rewind or continue watching, and at the end, then you can just replay. So no worries. I never know if you guys are late. I mean, everybody has a life, right? All right, so in this case, I trimmed this down because I wanted it to be a tag. So it's really easy to make a tag. All I'm going to do, normally I would get out my trimmer and do this, but I'm not going to do that. Actually, I can. I'll get out my little trimmer. It's a lot easier to work with my little trimmer here. So for my tag, I want that to be, it's 3 wide right now. I'm going to say I probably don't want that to be about 2 1/4. So it looks like about the width of a regular tag. Whenever I make my tags, I am basically just freehanding. That didn't make sense at all. Freehand. That sounds like I'm playing poker and I got a free hand or something. I don't even play poker, so I really have no clue what I'm talking about. Okay, so I am basically just going to come in and cut the little notches on my tag. And this is what I mean where I freehand, free cut. I don't even know what that's called. All right, there we go. So there is the top of my tag. I'm going to come in and I want to outline that. Now, if that makes you nervous and you have tags, a lot of us have, different tags that we've purchased over the years, maybe, or shipping tag or something, then you could grab your tag. And so, you know what? And I'm going to try to pronounce your name, hun. A shawl. And I think what probably is happening with you is that the same thing that happens with me, people don't know how to pronounce your name. So that may be why. Okay, but I see you, we see you. Okay, so I have created a tag, and instead of coming in and poking my little hole through this tag, I am going to get some liquid adhesive, which is another thing I forgot to grab ahead of time. So I have my little liquid adhesive here, and I am going to tie a little bow, and my little bow is going to go right there. So I've got my baker's twine. In the kit, there are 2 different colors of baker's twine. There is a pink, and then there is also kind of a teal color. So to tie my bow, I am making my loop and coming through, and there's my bow. And then I have to kind of resize it because it's a little skimwampus and it's all weird. And so I just kind of play with it until I get it to the way I like it. So here is my trick when it comes to doing bows. If I put that down like that, it doesn't look very good, right? It's not really a normal looking bow. It's just kind of weird. Yes, and Scraft NH number 2. You're right. I will show that one next. Okay, so here's my bow when I do the next tag. Here's my bow, and it just doesn't look very good. So first of all, I need to adhere that some way because there's no hole. I'm not tying it through a hole. So here we go. And I'm gonna do that. And I just need to hold that down for a few seconds. Roberta, you're good, hon. No late, no late. All right, so really it is at least set enough that it's not going to move around a lot. Now I'm using like a clear glue so that when that dries, you won't see any of the residual glue if there's a little bit left over. But then what I do is I come in and I make my little loop how I want it. Oopsie. And then I will add just a little tiny bit of glue right there. Okay, so now that's going to ensure, I keep coming closer to the camera when I do this, so you're probably hearing my voice get really loud. I apologize for that. Now that's going to make sure that that bow is not going to move, right? I've basically tacked it down. So I'm gonna do the same on this side. Get my little loop to where I want it. So it stays a nice, cute bow instead of getting all yucky. Like right when you used to tie your shoes. I still tie my shoes, but really only one pair. Really only like my tennis shoes when I go to walk or work out or something. But anyhow, so you tie them and there's a nice, neat bow, and then later it looks all yucky, but it doesn't really matter because it's just your tennis shoes. All right, so there's my other half. Like so. It's a little skiwampus, so I could move it a little bit if I want. And then, in some cases, I might decide I need to add, oopsie, a little bit more. Now, when I do this though, I'm purposefully not gluing the whole bow down because I don't want to glue the whole bow down. I don't want it to be flat. I want it to have some dimension, okay? So, did I get my glue holder from Jen Shirkus? I did not. My glue holder comes from, well, I was teaching at a store in Minneapolis called Firefly Farm. And you're 10 years old. Oh my heavens. That's amazing. I love that. So here, no, I bought it at a scrapbook store. I think lots of us use those little glue holders, but they're pretty awesome. Because it makes it, the nice thing about it, and I just use it, is that your glue then stays upside down. So that, skawampus, yes, skawampus. My glue is upside down, which the nice thing is, how many times, it's like the ketchup bottle. The ketchup bottle sits in the fridge like that, and then when you go to open the ketchup, you're doing this all the time. Well, that little glue stand does that. I'll show you, and this is just another toy that I have, bought at the same store. So, for those of you that use the Nouveau glue, and actually this works for any other type of glue that would work here, but this guy goes like that. So that is kind of designed to hold your Nouveau adhesive. And again, it's just always down instead of up, so you're not shaking it out. Okie dokies. Now, so my little tails here are a little bit long. Actually, I'm gonna wait, well, let's put them in. Let's put them in because then I will trim the tails off. So they come in the pocket like this. Now, I may decide, like, that is kind of cute. I kind of like the way that it lays there, but I'm going to end up putting things on top of it. So I may wait and, well, I'm going to wait. I'm going to put the rest of my tags in, or the rest of my cards, but then I think I may leave these tails long like this because I kind of like the way that looks. And then what I'll end up doing is I will just end up tacking that down a little bit. So it's cool, this company, and I don't know the name of this company. I will tell you, if you go to Google Firefly Farm, and there are lots of scrapbook stores that sell these, but this is where I bought these. If you go to Firefly Farm, you could order those from them. They come in a ton of different colors. But this company that makes these was at the big industry, like, wholesale show in January. And in January, oh, I know, right? Yeah, I am Colleen, is that a hint? Is that a hint that I am way scrolling right now? Here he is. He's always here with me. squirrel. I'm totally off on a tangent, but that's okay. Anyway, the company that makes these, they were at Creativation, which is the big industry trade show that happens every year that retailers usually go to buy product. So I was there buying product, and they actually had their machine there that extracted the plastic and the molds and all that. It was really cool. Make It by Marco sells them on Etsy. So there's another one. Okay, so I'm going to go back to, let's get back on track again, Whale. And we're going to keep decorating our pockets. So this little diamond, I need to come in and like so. Back in the pocket. Oh, now it's getting warm. I should know better because just after I said, oh, it's so much better in the morning. It's not as hot. Yeah, it's getting hot. Okay, here we go. That one is outlined. Pop it right in here. And I'm just getting different color, different pattern in. I need to make 2 more tags. So I'm going to make tags with this one and one of my horizontal stripes. So earlier when I was talking about making tags, there were a couple of different ways that you can make a tag. So I'm going to come back in. I know, Minneapolis. So Tracy, I am actually scheduled right now to come out again in 2021. I don't think I have 2021 yet on my website. So on my website under save the date or upcoming classes and events or something like that, I can't remember which one it is. Basically, it's a save the date page where it tells you where I'm teaching and when. It also tells you what kits I have coming up in the future. Right now, I only have there, I think, 2020, but I will be adding 2021 sometime in the future. But yes, I do plan on coming back to Minneapolis. I had so much fun there. So I'm going to ask you too, Tracy, have you ever been to Firefly Farm? If not, you need to go. You guys, this scrapbook store is on an actual farm, and the store is in a farmhouse. It is the coolest thing ever. Okay, anyway, totally off track, squirreling again. It's a squirrel kind of day, my friends. All right, so our tags, we're trimming to 2 1/4 and 2 1/4. Mini trimmer. I have that mini trimmer linked. If you go to my website and click on favorite tools and accessories under trimmers, I do have it linked there. I will, after class, add it to the description of the video too. And I don't have, oh, here it is. Hang on. Just real quick. I've learned the hard way that if I don't put it down, see, I don't just preach it. I do walk the talk, my friends. Okay, so I need I need to come in and add link to mini trimmer to video. There we go. Now, once it's in the Traveler's Notebook, well, it has a greater chance of happening. I can't say it will always happen because, you know, sometimes things happen and sometimes it takes a while, but I will do that when we're done. Okay, so here are my 2 start of my tag shapes. Oh, Kelly, do me a favor. When you go to Firefly Farms today, please tell Trisha hello. Please tell Patty hello and some of the other ladies. I'm just not remembering their names offhand. Okay. Karen, you're good, hon. No worries. Okay, so here's the start of our tag. Now, before what I just did my little notch and called it good. There's a couple of other ways to do tags for those of you that are a little bit more type A, and there's nothing wrong with that because I'm one of those weird people. I call myself whole-brained. I'm live and breathe by Excel spreadsheets, but I also am super creative. So sometimes I have to have things be exactly the right way, and that's the way I want it, and that's the type A side coming out. And then other times I just freehand it, and then that's the more creative side coming out. So if you don't want to just freehand, there are a couple things you could do. I could pinch this in half, but lightly pinch it in half and cut like that. That's going to assure that I get an even angle, the exact same angle on both sides. And that's probably the easiest way to get your tag to be even. Another way that you could do it, but this is just a little bit more involved. If I cut out this side first, I could then take the little piece that's left over and mirror it. I've got to flip it over, right? So I get the opposite angle and then do that. The other way you could do it is you could get your protractor out. Now, I have not used a protractor since probably 3rd grade, so I don't have a protractor. But if you have a protractor and you want to set up your angles and all that, then you could get your tag done like that too. All right, both of our tags, now we've seen 3 different ways to kind of make our tags. This little guy, I'm going to punch a hole in. Goodness me. It's a good thing all these tools are closed because clearly, well, it took me a while to help my dad get on his way this morning. So anyhow, okay, so here's this little guy and my punch, and I'm just gonna come in and punch that hole. And my other guy, I'm not punching. So I think that's the only thing we need him for. Get these two. Oh, actually, I'm gonna save one of those to show you something. I can come in here and outline my little tag. And with this tag, I'm going to use the other piece of the baker's twine. Hi, Lizzie. Is that my friend Lizzie? I always get confused because it says Elizabeth, and I never think of you as Elizabeth. All right. Tell me, make sure that's you, Lizzie, and then I'll tell people what we're doing. Okay, so now I am taking this little baker's twine, and I fold it in half and looped it, and I'm going to loop it through my hole in the tag and then pull it out. My little loop is right there, and I'm going to grab those little strings and there. Okay, you guys, so yes, my friend Elizabeth Williams, Lizzie Lou. Lizzie Lou. So we were talking before, you guys, about some of the teaching I do. And if you go to that page on my website up at the top, that is, I think it's called Upcoming Kits and Classes. Lizzie Lou does retreats, and we're crossing our fingers because between now and the end of the year, I am scheduled to teach at 2 of Lizzie Lou's retreats. One in Fallbrook, right? Fallbrook, California, which is kind of near San Diego for people like me that aren't, from there. The other one is in La Jolla. Anyhow, so if you are in that area, or if you're looking for something, hopefully that we can do and travel in the fall, Lizzie does awesome, amazing retreats. And so I've linked to those 2 that I'm doing. Okay, so here's my little tag. My little tag is going to go in right there. It's going to go in right there. Then this tag, come back in, and all I'm doing is basically I am layering and I am incorporating different patterns and different colors. And that is what makes it really fun and cheery when you open it, because I do have all those different layers and the different patterns and the different colors. So the sticker sheet, that is, so Michelle, you know what, Lizzie? If you would like, do you want to put the links to your Facebook page here in the chat? And then people, right, Michelle, because okay. Yes, La Jolla, Diane, I know, totally. So Lizzie, will you put links to each of those retreats? There is one that is in November, and that is the Christmas bash that we've done every year. I think this might be our 4th or 5th year. That's the one that's in La Jolla. And then in October, there is a Halloween bash. Anyhow, but then also, those are just the 2 I'm teaching at, but Lizzie does lots of other ones too. Okay, our squirrel's I'm gonna have to put the squirrel around my neck. Because you guys remember from one of the past videos, this is what Sam did for me. Sam took one of our squirrels and drilled a hole in his head, and we made him a charm on my traveler's notebook. So now he hangs off the charm. I'm gonna end up with I really should find myself not like this guy to hang around my neck for a squirrel, but maybe if there's, some kind of nicer looking squirrel necklace I could find and then wear it, because that'd be a conversation starter, wouldn't it? And then I'd start the conversation, and then I'd get off on a total squirrel tangent, and it would just be perfect. Okay, so in this case, instead of adding a little hole, and I'm going to try Ryan. Is that how you pronounce your name? From India. Hello. Okay, so here I have added that little diamond. Hello. The stickers have some gold foil accents in them, so it's kind of bringing a little bit of shine. But 3 different tags. One has a bow, one has a hole, and then one just has a little diamond right there. So that we're going to stick in there. So we're getting some pattern, we're getting some different color. We need to add 2 more things to this bottom pocket here. And you'll notice, so in this particular notebook that I'm using, there is not a pocket up at the top. And a lot of times some of the traveler's notebooks that I use have a pocket up at the top. So that's okay. I'm just making those extra long pieces so they kind of cover up that area. Last 2 that I need for my pockets are these 2 pieces. So I have this navy. Those look like little parking stalls, right? This is what probably the malls have looked like for a really long time when no one is going to the malls. They're just empty parking spaces. I am on one today, you guys, I tell you. Okay, so this is too wide. It is 4 inches and it is too wide. Oh, hi, Sister Naja. And again, if I mispronounce your name, I apologize. I empathize with those of you that have different names like me because you grow up getting your name just completely butchered. Karen, it is the gingham teal cover. All right, so I'll come in here and I need to outline that. So I just had to, let me just go over that again in case, because I was all off on lots of tangents. That was a little bit too wide, so I just came in and cut it so that it fits a little bit better in the pocket. Then our last piece that we are adding, oh, this little guy, it is also going to be a little wide. So just come in, trim it a little bit, and let's see. It is also maybe a little bit too tall. So, and I find it easier just to start with everything being 3 by 4. And then if I need to trim them down, I can. So because this paper kit that we're using did not have 3 by 4 cards or tags, we're just making our own. Which is actually, you know what, a lot of you probably end up doing if you're just using some of your stash to decorate your inserts. All right, so now we need to keep decorating. So let's start up here. And we're going to the sticker sheet. I am going to use some pop dots. So pop dots look anything like any of these. And then sometimes they even come on a roll. So sometimes they're squares. Sometimes this is why I call them pop dots. I have been scrapbooking and I've been scrapbooking for 22 years. How old is Jack? He's 22, so more than 22 years when I was pregnant with him, and then crafting even before then. But back in the day, if you wanted to use foam adhesive, this is what your option was. They were called pop dots because you would pop the dot out of the sheet. So those are pop dots, but there's tons of different shapes and sizes and widths, colors even, of pop dots. And the reason I like to use pop dots in these are old, you guys. They're really old. I dug them out. The reason I like to use pop dots when I am decorating my inserts, or decorating my pockets, is that everything here can still kind of tend to look a little bit flat. And I rarely include any kind of dimension in my traveler's notebook itself in my inserts because I'm writing in there. And dimension causes me problems when I turn the page and try to write on dimension, that it makes a mess. So I will use my pop dots. You can kind of see here that a lot of these things are now popped, and it really just gives a lot more dimension to your pockets other than keeping them flat. So a lot of times I will bring in pop dots as I am decorating my pockets. So there's one, and then I'm going to take this little flower down here, and it's going to partly go on the flower, but I probably just need a little bit of a pop dot maybe right back there to help hold it up, because it will already be popped because it's going on top of that flower, but I just need to add a little pop dot where it's not on top of that flower. Then I'm going to add this little sticker that says beautiful. We're going to do a little bit more popping on that one. Oh, I don't have my big sheets. Oh, well. Well, these will work. So see, there's squares. There's all kinds. This is probably, if you asked me, the one like supply that I probably buy the most of and that I want to make sure I never run out of, it's pop dots, because you can just giving dimension adds such a big difference. Like sometimes if your hair is like really, really flat to your head and you just kind of poof it up a little bit and you give it a little bit of dimension, then it just looks better. All right, so that I'm going to tuck in there a little bit. And I'm going to tuck it in there a little bit and have it be on a little bit of an angle. And then we're going to put, oh, the I Am kit. Kelly, you know what? That is one of my favorite kits. And that is probably, I think, the third time that I've done an I Am kit. And the reason it's one of my favorites, it's just because it is, that's the one time, at least for me, that I actually sit back and really like document myself. And I know that sounds weird that, well, why would you document yourself? I think it's important that we document or scrapbook ourselves. We do that a lot. Well, sometimes we do that a lot when we're doing our traveler's notebooks. If it's nothing more than just listing, when we are doing our lists and we talk about, you know, our bucket list for the summer, our travel bucket list, or things we're missing with the coronavirus that we're not experiencing. That's documenting ourselves, right? We are kind of talking about ourselves. But in that I Am kit, it just really gives you lots of opportunity to document yourself. And you're not necessarily doing that for yourself, right? You're really doing that more for family members or friends, so that they know about you. And they know about you maybe when you're gone one day. All right, Think Positive. Think Positive is just going to kind of tuck right in there. That's one of those gold foil stickers. And then this little gold one is going to come in. I think we'll make maybe it go right about there. And then, so I'm just taking stickers that are part of that sticker sheet and layering. Just because I want to add a little bit more dimension, a little bit more color, a little bit more layer. This one's going to go about right there. And then this little guy right there. And then this, that little circle, oopsie, I'm also going to pop dot. So again, what's nice about working with, even if you have like a collection kit at home that you've bought that from a scrap, you know, from a scrap manufacturer, from a store, it does make it a little bit easier to mix and match when you're working with a collection, because it's designed to go together. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I have these little tendrils, these little tails, I guess we could call them. I am going to leave them long. I'm going to leave this little guy long, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right there on that tag. And that, once it dries, is going to make sure, now my bow is going to stay in place, and my little tails are also going to stay in place. So sometimes I'll just kind of play with that, and let's say that looks good. We'll put that one right there. And then I think these are okay. I think these are small enough, and you know, they'll just kind of float around. They'll be okay to do that. Okay, last thing, when I'm decorating pockets, I almost always, okay, so look, it looks like, Lizzie, let me know if the link doesn't work. So I'm not seeing any link yet. You know what else too, I'll have you, Lizzie, do, and I don't know if you can do this, when the video is going, but after the video is over, if you can't, go into the comments section of the video and add links to those too. Okay, last thing, I always decorate right here, but there really wasn't anything here, and I'm like, you know, there's nothing really that works. There's nothing really that's kind of the right size that I want to use. So I started looking and I went, you know what is really cute? This thing up here, this One Fine Day, I mean, that's part of the packaging really, right? There's a barcode right there. There's the, I always call that like the Kermit the Frog eye. Well, normally it goes down there too. Anyway, I thought this is really cute. It's a sticker, right? This is one solid sticker sheet. So why not come in, actually, I'm gonna come in first with my big scissors. Now it's going to be a little bit easier to work with. And I'm going to fussy cut this sticker out. So this is what I've done with it. There is that sticker right down on the kind of the bottom of my pocket. And that's super cute. One Fine Day, right? So I'm gonna take my little fussy cutting scissors. These guys we've talked about before in a couple of the past videos. These scissors I do carry on my website, and they are awesome for fussy cutting things. The reason they're awesome is that they are spring-loaded at the bottom. So super easy to work with, and they kind of fit right there in the palm of your hand. And then I just come in and start fussy cutting. Now, when I fussy cut, there's two kinds of fussy cutting in my world, and this is just the world according to Lael and fussy cutting. There is regular fussy cutting, and then there's stupid fussy cutting. What I'm doing right now is regular fussy cutting. Again, this is just in my world. I am leaving a teal border all the way around what I'm fussy cutting out. And the reason that I want to do that is, number one, it gives it a nice accent. But number two, ain't nobody got time to fussy cut around all these little white letters. It's just not worth it. So this is regular fussy cutting, and then I won't do the stupid fussy cutting. Okay, so I'm just coming in. And the reason these scissors are so awesome, you can see they've got a little super sharp blade, but I am never having to come in and lift my scissor. I'm doing this all in one kind of foul swoop, except for that, because I can just hold them right there in my little hand. I was teaching at a scrapbook store in Colorado a couple of years ago. That one is called NoCo Crop Stop. It is in Windsor, Colorado, just right outside of Fort Collins. And Lizzie, the lady that owns that, Kim, is very good friends with my friend Lizzie, who does the retreats. Anyhow, I was teaching one year at that store, and I love teaching in person for many reasons, just because I love it, because I get to see people and connect and all that. But I get to see the different tools that people are using while they are working. And a couple of the ladies had these scissors. And okay, so Lizzie, you know what? It may just not let you include a link like that in the chat. So when the video's over, if you add it to the comments on the video, then we'll be able to see it there. Yeah, these scissors, you guys, I've linked to these in the description of the video, and I just carry them on my website. They were out for a couple weeks, but they're back in. Anyhow, so there were a couple ladies at the store using those, and I'm like, what are those? And they told me, and then Kim said, oh, they're right over there. In the middle of teaching, and literally, I know you guys wouldn't be surprised at this because hello, squirrel. I'm like, hang on a second. And I walked over and I grabbed them and I said, Kim, will you add this to my basket so I can get those? Yeah, they're just awesome. All right, now I have to, since it's a sticker, I need to peel off that little part, the backing. There we go. And voila. So I do that for a couple reasons. Number one, now I have something to put right there. But number two, when you have your packaging, look twice at your packaging. So when I mean packaging, I mean like this. So this is the washi that coordinates with the collection that we're using. That is included in the kit. I also have this a la carte on my website too. But I would look at this packaging and you know what I think? I go, oh my gosh, you know what? I'm going to fussy cut this little flower arrangement right there because that is so cute. That's like a little die cut. So why not use it? Anyway, so there we go. Now we need to make our little inside thing. We need to make this little guy that holds our pom-pom. So there's a little pom-pom trim that is in your kits. So those of you that have been following along with the story about my dad, as he's been here with us, and I don't put him to work. I'm not like a reverse, slave labor, child labor. Not like an older person laborer, but he's like, hey, what can I help you with? That looks neat. What can I help you with? So he has been cutting these little things for me. He's been doing all kinds of kitting. He's been making boxes for me. It's been really fun. Okay, so now I need, where is this piece that we cut? Our little 8-inch piece that we cut. Well, I have no idea. So I'm just going to take, I think this is 8. Yeah, I'm just going to take this one instead. I used this little guy right here, but it really doesn't matter. I just have no idea what I did with it. Yeah, so nice. And you know what? And it truly is My business truly is a family affair. Sam helps Kit all the time. My husband lately has been, because he's been working from home too. Well, too. I always work from home, but he's been working from home also. He's been helping me pick orders, pack orders, Sam, Kit. Sometimes my mom helps Kit. So, all right. So what I'm doing is I am taking, again, a little bit of my liquid adhesive, and it doesn't really matter what you use here. You don't want to use a tape runner. So any kind of liquid glue that's probably clear drying. You don't want to use like a purple, if they even make purple. But it could be Eileen's tacky glue. I like to use for a little bit of finer nib that Lawn Fawn glue, but then I also use the Nouveau glue that I showed you guys. All right, so I am now taking that little strip of pom-pom and making it go all the way along that edge. And I have to hold it for a minute because it is going to suck up a lot of glue. Donna, you can still buy the kit. The kit is, I have linked the kit in the description of the video. All right, so I want to make sure and press down there too because I need all that glue to help that guy really stick. So then I take the little pom-pom piece and it tucks right into my little pockets like that. And as I was saying, I keep those. Somewhere, I don't know. I have probably 4 or 5 of those that I just keep and interchange. So either after you end up having enough of my kits that you have different color pom-pom trim, or I buy my pom-pom trim on Amazon because I buy it in bulk. I buy a lot at a time for my kits, but usually like a big box store would have little pom-pom trim like that on, you know, the big bolts or whatever. Let me check. Like button folks. So I don't know what that was, Karen. I missed something. All right, so there we go. Now our inserts. We need to come in and now decorate our inserts. So this is the first insert that we are going to decorate. We already have it slip covered. I am taking one of my 3x4 cards. Bright red tin. Oh, Sheila, is it out? Okay, so it is, I have them on order and probably I want to say within the next week. So within the next 7 days. If you go to that page with the red TN, well, any of my pages, any of the products, there's a little button there that says something like notify me when back in stock. So if you click that button, as soon as I add them again to the store, you'll get an email right away that it's back in stock. But I think in about a week. Yes, you guys. Oh, like button. Oh my gosh, Karen. Duh. Hello. The blonde is in full force today. I understand what you mean. You were saying very kindly, thank you, that if you like the video, if you're enjoying the video, please click like. Yeah, sometimes. All right, I kill myself. Okay, so here we go. I'm rounding my corners. And I decided to round the corners because since I have kind of rounded corners already right here, I just kind of wanted to go through with that. So come back in and outline because it's everything. I tell you, it's everything I do. It's probably been, and like I said, I've been scrapbooking almost 23 years now, and it's probably been at least 15 that I have been doing that. All right, so there we go. Add a little adhesive, and I'm gonna put that little guy about right there. Then we're going to take our happy little thing sticker. That is going to go right about there. Then this one, I love this one because I say yay all the time, yay. And that I want to pop dot because I want it to be a little bit lifted. I want some more of my dimension. So let's come in and we'll put these squares because they're a little bit bigger. Ooh, it's warm. I guess it's preparing me. Well, no, actually, so Sam, I mentioned, as they're moving my dad this morning, Sam brought lots of friends to help, which was awesome. Now, don't get me wrong, we're also paying them because, you know, they deserve to be paid. But I think all the moving was done within like maybe an hour and a half, which was awesome, which means that now when I go over, I'll be unpacking and helping my dad set up. But It'll be inside and it's air conditioned, so I don't have to worry about getting so warm. When we moved him, he lived in a small town in California called Ridgecrest. I mentioned before that he was a Navy fighter pilot for years, and then ended up working for the Navy as a civilian, as an engineer. There's a naval base there. So, but it is in the middle of nowhere, and it is like Death Valley area. So it is so hot. So when we were moving him out here, it was like 110 or something. Oh my goodness. But it was a dry heat, right? I only know dry heat because that's what Utah is too. Utah's dry heat. So I have never had the pleasure, not pleasure, I'm being facetious there. I've never had the pleasure, that's not facetious. I'm being, I don't know what the word is. I have never really enjoyed, I don't know, what do you call it? If we call it dry heat, do you call it a wet heat? Humidity. You don't have a problem with the thing sticking in the sticker back, not covered by the pop dots. Oh, I know what you mean. So Cheryl, what Cheryl is asking right now, Andrea, are you kidding? That is crazy. What a small world. Oh my gosh. You guys, Ridgecrest is a very small town. Yes. Las Vegas is dry heat too, but Ridgecrest is, I don't know, Andrea, maybe 20,000 people. I mean, it's small. That's such a small world. So Cheryl was just asking if I ever have any problem with the thing sticking to the sticker back that's not covered by pop dots. So you notice on this sticker, well, like right here, I have not covered the entire sticker with pop dots. So really, this part right here is still sticky. And wait, Cheryl, I mean, it's pretty high, so it doesn't, it doesn't stick to the back. It won't stick to the back. Here are a couple of different things you could do if you don't want it to stick to the back. You could, I call it de-stickify it. So, hold on, I'm gonna come over here to my supply area. This part of my craft room is organized. This is a product by EK Success, and I don't even know what it is called. But it is a little powder, and it has a little brush. Oh my gosh, it doesn't want to come out. Has a little brush. It's kind of like that sunscreen that comes in a little powder like that, right? Hold on, am I open? Hold on. I'm probably gonna make a giant mess here. Sometimes when you try to do things live like this, they don't really work. Oh no, I don't want to open that. Opening that is going, oh my gosh, it smells like a grandma in here. Nothing against grandmas, but it's super powdery. So I could take this little stuff and basically I put the powder on the back of that sticker, and that is going to de-stickify it. So it's no longer sticky by putting the powder on. Now, that's a product, but you could use powder. I know some people use cornstarch. I know some people will just take like a towel, maybe a dish towel or something, and do like that to try to get some of the sticky off. Sometimes you do it on your jeans. Just that is a way. I generally don't do that, Cheryl, because I'm too lazy. And then someone on the video says, not too lazy, it's too busy. And then I say, oh yeah, I mean, I'm too busy, not too lazy. If you want to get that sticky off. All right, so this is going to go right here. Oh, now this is funny because now I just took all the sticky off of the part of the sticker. I didn't want to get the sticky off. So we'll re-add our sticky. Well, that obviously works very well because there's no way that was sticking when I tried to get it to stick. All right, so there we go. That's gonna go in there right like that. Okay, then I need one more little flower sticker. This little guy, and I'm also going to pop dot that. And that is going to go right about there. Okay, so that insert is done. It is cute. Yes, Karen, on and off your clothes. And that's when I was joking. Oh, I was joking, but not joking, because when I teach people in person, I see people on their jeans, and I generally say, oh, Lizzie, okay, that's called a powder tool. De-stickifier has a real name. It is called a powder tool. Karen, Niagara Falls. Oh, I'm sure. So I've been to Niagara Falls, but I've been to the Canadian side of Niagara Falls, visiting my friend Vicki Booten. Okay, so there's our first insert, and it's going to go right into our little pocket like that. So if you are working with a kit, super easy. If you're not working with a kit, still super easy. Just kind of go through your stash and see what you have. that you have to work with. All right, let's do our next insert. So our next insert, we're gonna get a little creative again. Normally, when I'm working with, oh goodness. Normally when I am working with, normally my traveler's notebook kits have, like I said, a paper that has the 3x4, you know, all the little 3x4 cards or tags or whatever on it. And this one doesn't. So when I have that, I'm usually putting, you know, one of the cards right there and just decorating accordingly. But I didn't have that. So I'm like, what can I do? What can I do? I kind of look around at all my things again. And I say, hang on. I've got to get it because I've got to grab another one because I already threw this part of the kit away. Because I already had it open. Then I look at this and I go, hey, wait a minute. Remember how I really liked this whole One Fine Day thing and now this is bigger? I think I'm going to use this. So I come in here. I'm just going to cut some of it off just to get it so I can work with it in my little trimmer. Ooh. I need to leave a straight edge or I'm not going to end up with a straight edge. All right, so I'm coming in here. I'm gonna come about right there. I'm gonna cut out that little trademark because I don't want that little TM there. Unless I am a customer that goes to treasured memories, and then the TM totally makes sense. All right, so there, I have a nice, cute little decorative thing again. Oh, Diane, monsoon season. So I have been in Arizona during the monsoon, and holy cow, you would never think that a dry desert like Arizona would have a monsoon. But let me tell you, freakiest thing I've ever experienced in my life. Like the biggest torrential downpours and like rivers in the streets from the monsoon. Yeah, craziness. So let's see, Canadian side. You know what, Karen? It is bizarre because they're like two totally night and day different sides. The Canadian side is super kitschy and has all these like cool big, like I think the Godzilla's, not Godzilla. Is it God? No, it's, what's the big ape? What's the big ape in the movie? Is that Godzilla? No, it's not. Anyway, someone tell me the big ape in the movie. Or Karen, tell me what that animal is that's in the big thing on the Canadian side of Niagara Falls. Oh, Lordy, you guys, I need to have all the squirrels today. Evilicious Crafts. You did? That's all. King Kong. Thank you. Hello. Total brain cramp. Yes, King Kong. There's like a giant King Kong. I don't know. It seems it's huge. It's like 2 stories or 3 stories high. Okay, so here we go. We are going to take this, and I just want to make sure that it is, I'm probably going to trim just a little bit more off. I want it to be just a little tiny bit narrower. All right. So there we go. And I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, a little bit of tape runner, and we'll put that about right there. Some reason, and I don't know why I do this, but all of my inserts, I put whatever it is kind of in the top third. I never put anything in the middle. To me, it just kind of looks weird. That is also referred to something as the rule of thirds, and it's a design principle that if you kind of break things into thirds, it's a little bit more visually pleasing if you are in the top third or bottom third, but not like right in the center. So that's probably why I do it. I don't even realize I do it. Okay, so here I'm using these 4 little photo corner things, and we're going to just accent each of those little quarters like that. And I know that's weird that I put the stickers on my arm or my hand. It's a little bit easier to do than keep trying to have that sticker sheet handy. Okay, there we go. And then it's flat, right? It is flat. Oh, outline. You know what? So good question. Karen, I did not outline it. And here's the thing. If you want to outline something like this, it has a coating to it. So it is not like a flat, like the paper is flat or matte. This has a little bit of a coating to it. If you are doing your outline, in this case, you want to make sure that you are outlining with a permanent marker. If not, then that will bleed. Now I can already see the way that it's reacting on that coating. I am going to need to let this dry because it needs to set. That even though it's a permanent, it's still wet, so it needs to set. So I want to be really careful how I do that, because if I don't, it will smear. And it happens. It happens to me because I'm not paying attention, and then it happens. So I'll try not to make it happen this time. I need a little bit of extra dimension though, because it's kind of flat. So I'm going to pull in a few more of my, hang on a sec. I can't find them. They're not in that drawer. I'm just looking for my square ones that are like this, but they're larger. They're just a little bit easier to work with. But we'll use these. We'll put that one right there. Well, for the sake of time, I'm not going to keep adding to that. But you know what, Karen, isn't it amazing? I mean, it's weird. It's weird. And you know, I try to get people to drink the outline Kool-Aid, so to speak. And sometimes people do it and sometimes people don't, but I think it does. It just truly makes a huge difference. And it's easy and it's fun. There we go. That little guy's there. And then one more. Just, we need a little, balance it out a little bit. So we'll add a little pop dot to this flower. So even if you are not working with the kit and you're doing your own thing, the outlining, consider it drunk. Yeah, there we go. Love it. Outlining, adding some dimension with our pop dots, cutting our packaging, kind of getting creative with what we have on hand. All right, so there is our second insert. Now we are not done yet. We have one more thing to make. Put that guy in. The next thing that we are going to make is a pocket. And I have, yeah, you know what? Exactly. It's like a frame. It's exactly like a frame. All right, a pocket. And I have shown this maybe in a couple different of our free classes. And I probably do this maybe once every 4 or 5 kits in my Traveler's Notebook kits. So our pocket looks like this. We open up and we have a pocket. So we have a pocket that we can stick things in. We have a pocket that we could add photos to, or generally what I do with my pockets is that I like to have some things with me to be able to decorate if I want to decorate a page or something, one of my lists. So I will tuck things in the pocket. And I just remembered something that I forgot. So let me come back to this really quick. In the kit, there are 2 different magnetic clips, and they're in the package. There are actually 6 different clips. So you will have 2 of, where do you get the pop dots? Sewing and outline. Yes, for sure. So I will add a link to where you can find different types of pop dots. I'll kind of share the one that I was looking for. That's my favorite. So let me just add that. I'll add a link to the description. Okay. So these little magnetic clips are fun. There are 6 to a package. So you, in your kit, if you have the kit, will have 2, and you'll just have 2, any 2 of the 6. But what's awesome about these magnetic clips is that they are magnets on both sides. And then in the center, there's no magnet, so they can easily flip over. So these are great for marking your page. So let's go back to here. This is the Traveler's Notebook that I am currently working in. Right? And so once it's closed, I'm like, I don't know where I am. Where am I? So if I use one of my magnetic clips, it's a great page marker. And I go like that because it's magnetic. That is now the magnet on both sides, so it holds it in tight. So I could put it up top. Sometimes I will put them off to either side as well. So you have 2 of those in the kit, and I have also linked, I also sell those a la carte, and I've linked to those in the description of the website. So not only are these great to marking your traveler's notebook pages, if you like to read, they're great for marking your books pages. If you do Bible journaling, or you read the Bible or study your Bible or any other thing, they're just fun little page markers. So those are fun, and they coordinate with the collection. All right, I just saw those out the corner of my eye, so I wanted to make sure I mentioned those. Oh yeah, our pocket. So we were talking about our pocket and that we can, put things in the pocket and all of that. Somebody just said something about a pocket. You keep your die cuts in them and match by collection. So I know the die cuts in them will match the line I'm working with every time. That is really smart, Karen. That's awesome. So what she's saying is she can make pockets like this. And then I think what you're saying is you may have them in your traveler's notebook, but you may not. So you just have a bunch of little pockets, and maybe you have your die cuts, your extra cards, things like that you're keeping in your pockets. So let's go ahead and make this pocket. This pocket is made out of a single sheet of paper. And we have to do a little bit of cutting, but not much. That also now just reminded me that I meant to include, I have a separate video here on my YouTube channel where I walk you exactly through step by step with all the dimensions and everything on how to make that pocket. So I'm going to go back in and link to pocket video. I got a lot of work to do when we're done. Okay, so in order to do that, I need one 12 by 12 piece of paper. So I am going to use this 12 by 12 piece of paper. This is the piece that I have left. So I want to bring in my trimmer. Cut off my product strip. Just a really quick tip on product strips. So every manufacturer has product strips, and that is this piece that we generally cut off. And it's called a product strip because it has all the information about the product, about the paper on the back, so that if you're buying that at a scrapbook store or something, they can scan the barcode. But when we look at this, that is awesome. We should keep that because that is a nice little decorative strip. So is this one. So is every single paper or product strip that we cut off. Now, these are generally about 15 millimeters wide. And why I know that is 15 millimeters wide is the width of standard roll of washi. So I could take this and I could just rip it right there. And now it looks like I have a really cool washi because it looks like it's a washi that has a stripe at the bottom and the stripe at the top and then has the pattern on the inside. And then I just need to add my little adhesive behind that. But I could kind of use that like it was washi. All right, so this piece of paper, I need to trim it. It is 12 by 12 right now. I need to trim it to 12 by 10. So I'm going to come in and trim it right here. Okay, so I want it to be 10 inches wide by 12 inches tall. The reason I want it to be 10 inches wide, my inserts, remember, my inserts are 5 inches. The standard wide inserts are 5 inches. So if I have my piece that is 10 inches wide, when I fold it in half, it will be 5, and then it will be the width of my insert. All right, so I have my piece. It is 10 inches wide by 12 inches tall. I am going to open this up like this. I have to think. I want to fold this up at 8 inches. So let me grab a ruler. Oh, you know what? I don't even need a ruler because guess what? I already have something that's 8 inches, right? This. So if I just go right here, I was a little bit off. Normally I would grab my scoreboard, but I'm not going to do that right now. So you know how you can, if you don't have any kind of scoring tool, even if you don't have a ruler, this is how you could do it. So I'm going to fold that up like that. And I know that is 8 inches because I measured it using my insert. So I cut my paper 10 inches off. So I have 10 by 12. Then I am folding up at 8 inches. I must have made that one a little short. Let me double check. Yep, I did. Okay, so I'm folding up at 8 inches. Now I'm going to open this back up. And remember, I have another video that just goes over this, so I will link when we're done. And now I'm folding it this way. So my first fold was to make it 8 inches tall. My fold right here is now to make it, or 8 1/4. My fold right here is now to make it 5 inches wide. Is that clear? Are we good with what we've done so far? Let me back up for a sec. So we take our 12 by 12 inch paper, we cut it off at 10 inches. We then measure 8 inches and we fold up 8 inches. Then we open it back up again and we fold it in half like this. All right? Now, we're going to take our scissors and we're going to eyeball it. We're not going to measure. We're going to come in about 3/4 of an inch. So my fold, my closed part of my fold is on the left side. And this is really important. We need the closed part of our fold on the left side. I come in, you come this way so you can kind of see. I come in about 3/4 of an inch over, and I'm going to cut right up to where that fold was. Okay, so you can see I cut a piece out of the bottom. This is the piece I just cut out. All right. And I stopped right there at the fold. When I open that up, I flip up like that, and there I have my pocket. It's not a pocket yet because the sides are open, but I have my pocket, and I'll be able to slip things in here and here. If I did not want to have that little insert kind of opening right there, then I just would have skipped this step. I would not have cut that. I just would have folded it up and it would have been level all the way across. I can vary the depth, the width, I don't know, of this piece depending on how far I cut. So if I cut 2 inches over, we would have been way over here like this, and this just would have been a shallower kind of part of our pocket. Now I need to close the pocket though. I need to close it so my things don't fall out. So I'm just gonna come in with my tape runner right there along the edge. I did not do that straight at all. Right there along the edge, and I fold up. Okay, so now that side of the pocket is closed. I'm going to come over here and do the same thing right there, and that part of the pocket is closed. So I have my pocket and my side pocket. So Karen said she uses a 1 inch wide strip scored down the middle and glued to the right and left side of the pocket to give it a bit more of a gusset. So I'm going to show you what she means by that. I'm going to just barely undo that. And I will take I'm just going to kind of wing this here. A little strip that is going to be 4 inches. And then she does about 1 inch, so that's about a 1 inch. And then we're folding this in half. And I'm going to apply my adhesive to that little half. We'll come in and stick this down like that, right over the top. And then fold this back up. And that we just created a gusset. So right here, it is now, see that little piece that we just added in there, that little 1 inch piece that we just added so it would stay open? It now has more room for my pocket to grow, so it can be really big. So on this side, it's just flat, where we just folded it up. On this side, we cut a strip that was 4 inches tall and about 1 inch wide, folded it in half, and then made that little gusset in there. Okay. One thing I want to talk about when we do a pocket like this. When you are looking for paper to use, for your pocket, you have to make sure that you look at both sides. What I mean by this paper works because this paper has words on one side, and the words on one side are facing the right direction when I open up my pocket, and it has a pattern on the other side. The pattern on the other side is, I think we could call it, I don't know, monodirectional. Basically, the pattern doesn't have a direction to it. Unidirectional. Mono's one. Unidirectional, like unicycle. Oh my gosh, Okay, forget it. You guys know what I mean. This works because this pattern right here does not have a direction to it. So when I fold it up, I don't have to worry about that being upside down. And I just point that out because some of your papers have a pattern that has a direction on both sides. So if you try to do this and fold it up, this part would then be upside down. So just something to kind of keep in mind when you're doing that. Okay, now this was kind of plain. And because the kit, in this case, has a lot of extra washi, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, one's missing. 6. There are 6 different, probably fall on the floor. There are 6 different rolls, 6 different patterns of washi here. I thought, you know what? I'm going to kind of jazz this up a bit. So I took, and we already saw this, but now you know what it is. I took this washi, and we just come along here. Oh, well, don't do what I did. I just ripped part of it off. Sometimes it happens. Help, can't find my desktop. I know, Karen. I feel your pain. I feel your pain, my friend. Okay. I hate it when that happens. Okay, there we go. So now that I got rid of all that, now it's sticking all over my hands. Here we go. Hi, Mercy. You are okay. So when we're done, you can go back and replay it if you want. And I'm going to put that little thing right there. And I will, my little scissors. I've got too many scissors. Okay, right there. And then I just need to either come in and cut off that angle, or I could even just fold it back. All right, and then it's just really now giving my pocket a little bit more of a decorative touch, right? Just make it a little cuter. And we have so much washi, really, you guys, right? So many of us have so much washi that we're always looking for ways to use our washi so we don't feel guilty when we want to buy more washi. That's a great way to use washi, okay? So now my pocket's decorative. When we close it, we need to do a couple of things. Well, I do. I am going to round my corners because I want the pocket to match kind of the same shape as everything else. You kind of heard that. This really kind of made a loud pop. The reason for that is it was really going through 4 layers. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you don't have a really super sturdy corner rounder like this, do not attempt that at home. Just come in and do each of those individually. The last thing I want to do while I have my corner rounder out, and this part is really important, I need to round these corners right here. The reason I need to round the corners, when I take this pocket and I put it into my traveler's notebook, so when I slide it in the elastics are really taut, right? They aren't super loose because it needs to hold things in. So when I slide this in like this, there's a lot of strain on that little piece right there up at the top and that little piece right there at the bottom. Eventually, that elastic is going to start to rip my pocket, and I don't want it to do that. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways. Oopsie. 2 different ways, especially if you don't have a corner rounder. 2 different ways that you can help that. Number 1 is I can come in and just corner round, all right? But the other thing I could come in and do is I can take my little hole punch here and I can do like a half of a notch. So I'm not punching a hole because I don't want a hole there. I can do a half of a notch. So that's what we just did. See, I've got a half of a hole, a half of a H-O-L-E, not W-H-O-L-E. Anyhow, that little notch. So I just made a notch 2 different ways. But when I pull this in like this, now it is protected because it has a place to slide. It has a place to move around. So up at the top where I did my corner rounder, it's notched, but even down here on my little kind of half circle, my half hole punch, it is notched. So you could do either one of those. Those of you that are scrapbookers, or card makers or tag makers, I guess, whatever it could be. If you are ever, and I'm totally off track, but this is just going to be a little tip. If you are ever wanting to wrap something with ribbon or with twine or something like that, you can, I don't think I have any because I've now just used it. You can do that same little technique. So I can do a little notch right there and do a little notch right there. Hopefully that's even. Then I can take my ribbon or whatever it is and notch around, and that will make it so that this doesn't start to do this. Because if I don't have a little notch there, there's really nowhere for it to sit, and then it starts to get kind of all obnoxious. So right here, I can use those two little notches to hold my ribbon as I wrap around. Mono, unicycle. Yeah, that's silly me. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay, we're not done yet. Not done yet. We still have a little bit of decorating to do on our pocket. So the pocket's cute, right? It's super decorative already. I mean, it's cute. It can be that way, or I could keep working with it. And of course, I'm going to keep working with it because why not? Outline. Oh, it's a little thicker right now, right there where I did the gusset. All right, then what did I do to decorate that? Let's see. Oh, guess what's happening? Remember that? My little nail just popped off. My little, you guys know all about those that I've been using since no manicures with coronavirus. These have been on for 3 weeks. So it's ready. It's time to, I've gone through, well, now one move with my dad, and I wanted to get through the move today with him. What did I just do? Oh, okay, we're good. Get through my move today with him before I put on more of those. Okay, so last thing I did to decorate this little guy. Again, pulling out some more washi. Right there, I love that. This one, obviously you can tell I love because I keep using it. All right, there we go. Then one of my stickers. See, Karen, even though my work surface doesn't look that messy, my desktop, I don't know what I've done with things because I don't know where my stickers went. Oh, they're there way across the room. All right, so then I'm taking this little guy. That's gonna go right there. Uh-oh, I don't wanna put that there yet. I'm taking another strip of washi, and this one I love because this is like one of my favorite papers. I'm such a sucker for a plain white paper with black words on it like that. So there's washi that is also like that. So this can just go right up there, up at the top. And it's fun because it's a little bit transparent. So you get a little bit of the pink showing through. Put that off. Then this goes on there. All right, so that is to the extent that I decorated it. Now, just like I have the washi and the clips, I also have the die cuts. So the die cuts are not part of the kit, but I have them on my website, and I have linked to those. But there are tons of fun die cuts in here that I could now pull out and see if I wanted to add anything to that. In the die cuts, there's a button, there's more baker's twine. Let's see what we have. I've never opened these. So I'm not really sure what's in here other than what I saw on the, oh, now I know what I can do. So let's do this. Let's take, too big. Let's take this guy. I am going to do a little bit of a pop. Oh, you know what? Hold on. This is bad. Way too messy. Get these off to the side. All right, my little flower, I need a pop dot, and I'm just gonna, for the sake of getting this done quickly, I'm not gonna put more than one little pop dot on it. But here, I'm gonna go maybe a little offset from my circle there. And then I feel like, oh, look at, perfect. I'm gonna put yay for today right there because the yay for today, it kind of emphasizes that, and then it also emphasizes when we open up. But what I'm gonna do, I feel like it needs a little bit of movement. So I'm gonna do this. And this, it may get really noisy in here in a second, you guys, because Nick and Sam are here to pick up one thing. My dad had like a chest freezer, and it's been at our house because we had to wait to move him in. So actually, It made more sense just to keep the U-Haul. It was a 26-foot U-Haul. It made more sense to keep the 26-foot U-Haul for 2 weeks and not have to unload a 26-foot U-Haul and then reload it again, because I don't know where we would have put it, everything. And then the way that it works when you rent U-Hauls, now I'm like an expert at that whole process. The way that it works when you rent a U-Haul is you pay, the big chunk is just for renting it. And then if you have it for extra days or whatever. So it made a lot more sense just to pay the extra day rate. Anyway, long story short, the chest freezer is still in our garage. And so they just pulled up the big 26-foot U-Haul, which is now empty, and they're going to load that in the garage, and they may come in the house, and then you may hear them. Anyhow, so I just added that little guy there. What I did as I was chit-chatting, I made a little notch in the end of that die cut because I wanted that little banner. And then I added a little pop dot just to the end of that little piece, because now it really gives it movement, right? So before, when we were adding our pop dots, this is dimension. It just gave us a lot of dimension with one pop dot. But here I've created movement and dimension by just putting a pop dot at the very end and nowhere along here. So it just gives it a little bit more of a fun touch. All right, so now we are just about done. But there's one more thing I'm going to do, and I'll show you that this is what I do when I am doing my inserts or decorating my traveler's notebook. After I do a kit like this, I don't just leave it like that, because I always like to add things. So what I end up doing is coming back. Okay, there we go. Coming back to my pockets. So pockets are super cute, right? You guys, we've talked about clips before. In some cases, we have made our own clips. So I just went to my stash of clips and I pulled out clips that I thought were the same color, in kind of the same color palette or same family as my notebook. So I'm just going to take a look at these. That would be fun because I kind of have this floral theme in there. And I just start adding things to the pocket just to give it a little bit more fun. So that is good there. This guy, oh yeah, that's good there. I think I might put this one maybe right there. That'll stick out the top a little bit. These, all the little pom-poms, and these two right here. These come from, oh, I lost my little thing. I have to get out my little glue gun. Anyhow, this type of clip and these little clips come from an Etsy shop called Peach Pom, P-E-A-C-H-P-O-M. And she does awesome, really fun little clips like that. So it just gives it a little bit of extra added touch, cuteness, and dimension, because when we're working with our traveler's notebooks and we're listing and we have our calendar and all that, we don't really have much dimension. So here's my traveler's notebook right now. Other than adding a few stickers to the pages, a few fussy cuts or die cuts, it's really boring. I can't get a lot of dimension, but by making dimensions in my pockets, then I kind of get that little extra fun stuff. What I now would do with the extra stickers that I have and the extra washi, yeah, no, Emmy, I agree, they totally do. What I do with the extra stickers and the extra washi, and I will just show you, this is my working traveler's notebook. So this is my setup for July with the July kit. I know it's not July yet, but I've already moved in. Sometimes I get impatient and I want to move in. I've already moved in. So what I will do is, these are just my notes. This is my insert that moves from month to month to month with me. And these are all my notes and to-dos. Oh, look at, there's some information about my December daily kit that will be coming out. Turn that page. Anyhow, so I just add little extra stickers, and it's not much, but I add, so leftover stickers, I would just add to some of the pages, and washi I add to some of the pages. Yeah. So the things that you have left over, especially since you have a lot of washi, use some of that washi. Even when we did this, right? This right here, I could come in to, let's just make one. Even though this is different, it will totally ends up being different. No, you know, let's use this. This is cute. I never used this one. I don't know why. Okay. Oh, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this little product strip that I had. I'll add just a little bit of adhesive to it so it will stick down. I'm going to put it right here along the bottom, like it's washi, right? So that is kind of like it's washi. And then I'll come in and put this little pattern right above it. Even if on my to-do list, there is nothing else on my to-do list but that, doesn't that just make your to-do list just all the happier? It makes it a little bit easier now to tackle your to-dos that are on your to-do list. So use the washi that you have left over. I could make a washi card for my TN, right, Callie? So let me see what Karen just said. People are all of a sudden talking about what Karen said. One thing I like doing is adhering 3 pockets front to back and then making a cover and then add a gusset, make it look like one of those notebooks with the black edges. Oh my gosh, Karen, I have no idea what you're talking about. 3 pockets front to back and then make a cover and then turn and gusset. I bet I could figure it out. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try, not right now, but I'm going to try it and see what that is. Or shoot me an email and take a little video on your phone and show me what it is. Because maybe that could be something fun I can show everyone in a future video. Oh, heavens. Okay. You can make a washi card for your TN. Oh, you guys, Sam's here. Sam is here just for a brief moment. Do you want to say hi, Sam?
Hello.
Sammy said hi.
Love you, Mom. Bye.
Love you, sweetie. I'll see you in a bit.
Bye.
Oh, I know. One more thing I was going to show you. And I happen to have one of these here, so just bear with me. This is another kit that I have set off to the side that I need this little thing for, so hang on. Because normally I wouldn't just have one of these just sitting idly in my scrapbook room. Especially one that just happened to match this kit, because that is really... Anyhow, so what, oh, let's see, where is she? Oh, like a composition book. There we go. Yeah? Okay. Hang on. Where did we go? Somebody said a washi card. Where did we go? Laminated the paper for the pocket, or that make it too thick. Okay. So, Sheila, I haven't laminated the paper for the pocket. It's something I'd probably have to play with because well, actually, so, when you do that, you actually have to do kind of a weird, funky double lamination. And there are videos on how to do it. I need to mess with playing with that because you need to have the whole outside laminated, but in the same piece, you need to have the pocket part laminated too. Okay, Debbie, you guys, all these ideas, I love it. Okay, so let me first talk about the washi card. So washi card, and I've shared this a couple times in the past. I will take a playing card as long as it is wax coated. And generally I find these at, the dollar store. Wax coated, I can take my washi. Because it's really hard. We've talked about I can use a pocket to store my die cuts and all different kinds of things like that, but I can't really take 8 rolls of washi with me in my traveler's notebook. Just far too big. But I can do this. Hi, Nick.
Hello.
Nick's here too, just briefly. What? Oh, okay. He wanted to give me a kiss. That's the sweet Nick. Okay, thanks, hon. I'll see you guys in a bit. I'll call you when I'm headed that way. All right, so then here we go here. And I'm adding another washi. It's not very straight. As long as my card is wax coated, then I'm okay. So basically what I'm doing is I'm able to get 4 or 5, it just depends on what washi I'm using and the width of the washi. 4 or 5 designs of enough washi to have with me that I can, play while I'm on the go if I want. So there we go, and then let's add this one. Then it is roughly the size of a 3x4 card, right? Roughly the size of a 3x4 card, which means I could, hi sweetie, either put it in my pocket that we made right here, right? Or, oh my gosh, I just had an idea. Watch this. I could make a pocket for my washi. Watch this, a pocket for my washi card. We could go like this. And let's see. It might be a little tight. I might not have made it quite wide enough. Yeah, not quite wide enough. Anyhow, what I was trying to do, I cut too much of it off. I needed it to be a little bit thinner. That I could make a pocket that would go right here on my pocket, and then my washi card could slide in the pocket, right? So that's my little washi card that I could have with me. So I have to play on the go. The other thing I could do though is I could take my washi card and I could just tuck my washi card like right there in that pocket, and then I have my washi there to play as I go. All right, let's see. Thick ass. Old Starbucks gift cards. Yes, exactly. So Starbucks gift cards, any kind of gift card, a hotel room key card, as long as it's, you know, like the plastic room key, not like the metal room key. You don't want to do that. One thing that somebody was saying about making tabs. Let me see if I have my tab punch here. All right, so tab punch. This I have linked, is a link to this on my website under the favorites section. If you scroll down to the very bottom of the description of the video, I have a link to all the favorites. But this is a tab punch. And basically that is the shape that it makes. So someone was saying now they would come in with their tab punch. And I could punch out a little tab like that. And then I'd probably punch out another little tab like that. I could adhere those two back to back, and then I could have a tab on any of my things. Here's a little trick with that. Oh, I'm just all full of the tricks today. I'm totally off course, but that's good. It's fine because we're having fun. So what I could do is, let me cut this right here. Instead of doing what I just did, where I punch one and punch another one and then have to adhere them back to back, if I fold my paper, I don't know, it's been a while since I've done this, so I need to make sure that I'm doing this right. If I fold my paper and I come in with my tab punch, so my paper's folded, come on, get in there. I saw someone do this one time and I was blown away because I'm like, oh my gosh, why didn't I ever think of that? If I come in like this, oh, I'm too tall. Darn it. And I'm sure I'm making this way more complicated than it is because now I probably just made it too short. If I come in like this and I go to punch, okay. I'm still too tall. Can't do it that way. You guys, this is when my blonde hair is really coming in because I know it's not this hard, so just bear with me. And if you have blonde hair, I apologize. I'm not putting you down. Sometimes I just am a blonde and that's the way it is. Okay, cool, Karen. I can't wait to see that. I won't be able to take a look at them today, but I will for sure take a look. All right, so now I am coming in like this. All right, so right here, see up at the top, the very top, you can kind of see a little bit of up at the top. It's not, the punch isn't all the way up to the top. So do you see how the punch isn't all the way up at the top? See that kind of black area up at the top, kind of? If I punch like that, I've used that part of the fold of the paper. There's my punch now. Okay? So all of that to figure that out. But anyhow, that is now one-sided. Yeah, don't cut the fold. Debbie. Yeah, don't cut the fold. That's exactly what I mean. Don't cut the fold. So here, I didn't cut the fold, so the fold is still attached for me. And then if I wanted, I could make a little tab right there. And then there you go. Okay, friends, that is it. So give me a sec while I turn off the lights and then rotate our camera again. Are we still there? Oh yeah, okay. Everyone's, so nothing was moving. I wasn't sure if I lost you guys. All right. Oh goodness, that's a 2-hour one. That's a lot. That is a long time. All right, here we go. We are flipping and rotating. Karen, thank you. You are always so good to remind people of that. Remember the little like button. If you enjoyed that, please give it a thumbs up. Within the next couple days, I will go back. Sorry, my water, no water. I will go back in and read through the chat because I love to read through the chat. and see what you guys are saying as you've been chatting and having fun. If you are not participating live, if you're watching the replay, do me a favor, leave a comment. Let me know your name and where you're watching from, if you enjoyed the class, if you use Traveler's Notebooks, what have you, whatever you want to share. The kit that I worked on in class is a kit that I still have available on my website, available as of today. I don't know when you might be watching this, if it's later. And it is the Floral Traveler's Notebook Kit. So I have linked to it in the description of the video below, along with lots of the products that I have used. Some you will find on my website, and then some you will find on other websites like scrapbook.com or Amazon or what have you. All right, friends, that was a fun Saturday. Next Saturday, we're still going. Next Saturday, this was a suggestion that my friend Karen Petrowski shared. Like a month or more ago. She said, you know what? And I have been with her when we've been traveling. She's not a scrapbooker. She's not much of a crafter. Well, I shouldn't say that. She is, but a totally different way. But as we travel on vacations together, a lot of times I will bring my traveler's notebooks and things, and I will work in my traveler's notebooks while I'm out of town. And she said, I would think it'd be really neat for people to see. And she said, I would love to see how you decide what you pack. When you have all of this stuff, how you decide, how you narrow it down, whittle it down, and then what you're packing things in when you're going out of town and you want to work on your traveler's notebooks on the go. So that is what we will be doing next Saturday. And that's it. Thank you, friends. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And until next weekend, so long.